بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم أكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our study of Kitab al-Sabr wa Shukr from Al-Mahajjat al-Bayda, volume 7, page 115. The chapter is entitled Bayanu Kawn al-Sabr Nisf al-Iman. We want to see why patience is considered as half of Iman. So in order to understand this, he tries to explain what we mean by Iman. If we understand what is Iman, then we can understand why patience is half Iman. He says Iman is used in different senses. So, depending on what we mean by Iman, we can understand why Sabr is half of it and what is the other half. If Iman is a matter of our beliefs, our aqidah, then it is al-yaqeen was-sabr. So half of it is yaqeen, to be certain that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your Lord, about prophethood, about resurrection, what you are supposed to do. You have to be certain, and then you have to be patient. But if Iman is about actions, then it would be a matter of sabr and shukr. So half of it would sabr, the other half would be shukr. So either sabr with yaqeen makes Iman in the sense of beliefs, or sabr with gratitude, patience with gratitude makes Iman in the sense of our practice. So he says, اعلم أن الإيمان تارة يخص في إطلاقه بالتصديقات بأصول الدين. Sometimes Iman, when it is used in the sense of affirming principles of faith. There is a discussion in Ilm al-Kalam, and you find this in many books. What is Iman? Some say Iman is a matter of tasdeeq, something that with your heart you affirm. Some people say Iman is a matter of iqrar bil lisan, you declare with your tongue. Some people say it's amal bil jawari, action. Some say all of them. We don't want to go into that discussion, but it seems that Iman is a matter of submission in the heart, which would bring actions. But actions are not necessarily part of Iman. So suppose if someone now wholeheartedly submits himself to the truth, but before getting chance to do anything, he dies. He is mu'min. Or if someone is submissive, but because of taqiyya is not declaring, he is mu'min. So my understanding is that Iman is a matter of submission in the heart, but in normal circumstances would be leading to action and declaration normally, but they are not part of the essence of Iman. We don't want to go into that discussion. It has lots of consequences. But just to help you understand, I said this. So he says, Iman sometimes means at-tasdiqat bi-usul ad-din. You affirm principles of faith, tawheed, nubuwwah, ma'ad. وتارة يخص بالأعمال الصادرة منها. And sometimes Iman is used in the sense of actions which are issued, which are coming after those tasdiqat, like salat, zakat. So sometimes we say Iman, we mean actions. وتارة يطلق عليهما جميعا. And sometimes we mean both tasdeeq and action. Okay, your beliefs and your practice. وَلِلْمَعَارِفِ أَبْوَابٌ. For those tasdeeqat that you know, those ma'arif, those things that you know as doctrines, they have themselves different sections. لِلْأَعْمَالِ أَبْوَابٌ. Practices also have different gates and different sections. And therefore he says, this is why in the section that we had before, which of course we didn't have what he had in the book before, then there were 72 discussions about Iman. Because some of it related to tasdiqat, some of them related to the a'mal. So he said we mentioned this in Kitabul Aqaid. Now, our question is something else. We want to understand the relation between patience and Iman. ولكن الصبر نصف الإيمان باعتبارين وعلى مقتضى إطلاقين. What is interesting is no matter which sense Iman is used in, still Sabr would be half of it. Whether Iman is used in the sense of tasdiqat or in the sense of a'mal, Sabr is half of it. If it is about tasdiqat and everything together, tasdiqat and a'mal, he says we would have yaqeen and sabr. Yaqeen is very important because whenever it's a matter of beliefs, doctrines, tasdeeq, certainty, it's very important. If you are in doubt, you are not considered as a believer. You have to be sure. So there are two rukn, أحدهما اليقين والآخر الصبر. We mean by yaqeen المعارف القطعية الحاصلة بهداية الله عبده إلى أصول الدين. Decisive, certain beliefs that Allah has guided His servant towards them about usul ad-din. If you have that decisive, certain understanding, certain belief, that is yaqeen. وَالْمُرَادُ بِالصَّبْرِ الْعَمَلِ بِمُقْتَضَى الْيَقِينِ. And here sabr means you are doing what yaqeen requires. So when you have yaqeen about akhirah, when you have yaqeen about Allah being your Lord, your actions must change. This is very important. One problem that we see in some of us and some religious people or even religious communities is that if you don't see them in masjid or when they are praying or fasting, you don't realize they are believers. there is no effect for their iman in the rest of their day. So when they are in shop, you don't see sign of iman. When they are driving, when they are, going to, university, to market, to park, no sign of iman. As if they are the same as people who have no faith. The only thing is, yes, at the time of prayer, he makes wuzu and says prayer. Or in the months of Ramadan, they fast. Or sometime maybe they have some appearance as believers. But nothing more. Sometimes I say, if someone from another planet comes and visits us, okay, and he is not aware of the appearance, that just give him moral characteristics. Believer has to be honest, has to be patient, has to be humble, has to be grateful, has to be organized, has to be kind, has to be selfless. We give him these characteristics. He doesn't know anything about appearance. He doesn't know about geography. He doesn't know that where does Islam started, and so on and so forth. We say, now you go to the earth and scan all over the earth, heart of people, mind of people, practice of people. Tell me, where are Muslims? Just based on akhlaq. I don't think it would be easy for that person to identify Muslims all the time. We think we are definitely Muslims. My name, my parents, my ancestors, my practice shows I'm Muslim. But this is on the surface. Suppose someone disregards surface and starts from the bottom. Where is Iman? That's the problem. So, yaqeen, and then sabr, which means to act according to your yaqeen. This is important. Not to act as you like. إذ اليقين يعرفه أن المعصية ضارة والطاعة نافعة. Our certainty teaches us that disobedience is harmful and obedience is beneficial. So, you know this. If you don't know this, it means that you don't have still iman. You don't have yaqeen. If I still think doing good things and doing bad things are equal, so this means I don't have yaqeen. Alhamdulillah, we have this much understanding that we know sins are harmful and hasanat are useful. But the problem is we cannot be 100% observing what we know. Al-muwadhabatu ala ta'ah. If you want to be always doing your obedient actions, acts of obedience, and also tarkul ma'siyah, this needs sabr. So, it's not just a matter of knowing and having yaqeen only, it's a matter of also being patient and persistence in doing your wajibat and avoiding haram. And sabr is استعمال باعث الدين في قهر باعث الهوى والكسل. As we said before, sabr means that you have such a strong motive inside you that helps you push back the motive for lower desires and laziness. Laziness is not a characteristic of mu'min. Laziness leads to failing in doing wajibat or failing in avoiding haram. Yeah? فَيَكُونُ الصَّبْرُ نصف الإيمان بهذا الاعتبار. So in this way, yaqeen is one half, sabr is second half. And he says, maybe this is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in this hadith yaqeen and sabr together. This hadith is من أقل ما أوتيتم اليقين وعزيمة الصبر. Some of the things that you have been given the least is certainty and a kind of a strong patience. Very rare to find yaqeen and very rare to find patience. You may remember the story of one of the Ashab al-Sufa. You know, in Medina, there were some people who had migrated from Mecca to Medina, but they were not able to have home. They had no home, and they were just living on a platform outside masjid. Sufa means platform. So basically, a little higher than the floor, the ground, they made some place to stay. One of these people one day met Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah saw him in a special condition. It is said that Rasulullah said, كيف أصبحت? How are you today? He said, أصبحت موقنا. I have started my day with certainty. Rasulullah said, لكل شيء علامة. ما هي علامة يقينك? Everything has a sign. What's the sign of your certainty? In this way, Rasulullah is also teaching everyone that you don't accept easily and you don't deny easily. You ask for justification. And he himself shows that if he wants to justify it, he can justify it by having sign. He said, my certainty has caused me not to sleep during the nights. I don't want to sleep. My certainty has caused me not to eat and drink during the day. I don't sleep and I fast. He said, I can tell among these people who are with you, who are in hell, who are in heaven. Because Quran says, كَلَّا لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عِلْمَ الْيَقِينِ لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ. If you have yaqeen, you would see Jahim. When you see Jahim, then you can see who is in Jahim. And Rasulullah told him not to say anything about who is in hell, who is in hell. Because Rasulullah himself was aware, but in dunya we are supposed to act according to the ordinary rules. Yeah? So if someone is hiding his sins, we should not disclose it. Okay? And also if someone is in heaven, also we should not disclose that he is in heaven. Because he may then start losing his sincerity, he may suffer from self-admiration. Yeah? So, those who are in hell or heaven should be remaining unknown. And then he said to Rasulullah, please pray that I become martyr. Because he had no interest in dunya anymore, and also perhaps he was worried that he would lose this condition. So, yaqeen is not something easy to achieve. Yaqeen is very rare. من أقل ما أوتيتم. One of the things that you have been given very little, the least, is al-yaqeen, وعزيمة الصبر, and also strong patience. This is very little. If someone has yaqeen and sabr, he has the best. The other way we use iman is to use iman in the sense of those actions or conditions that lead to actions, to do everything which is useful in dunya or akhirah and avoid things which are harmful. So here then we would have sabr and shukr. So you have to be patient, and also you have to be grateful, because this gratitude helps you to do things properly. And he says maybe this is why Ibn Mas'ud, one of the companions of the Prophet, said al-imanu nisfan, nisfu sabrin wa nisfu shukrin. This would not contradict the other way of dividing iman, depending on what you mean by iman. So iman can be yaqeen and sabr, or can be sabr and shukr. Even there is hadith marfu', means all the chain is not mentioned, but it is attributed to the Prophet, that something similar to what we have from Ibn Mas'ud is said by Rasulullah, that al-imanu nisfan, nisfu sabrin, wa nisfu shukrin. Then he says, لما كان الصبر صبرا عن بواعث الهوى بثبات بواعث الدين وكان باعث الهوى قسمين باعث من جهة الشهوة وباعث من جهة الغضب والشهوة لطلب اللذيذ والغضب الهرب من المؤلم وكان الصوم صبرا عن مقتضى الشهوة فقط وهي شهوة البطن والفرج دون مقتضى الغضب. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم بهذا الاعتبار الصوم نصف الصبر. He says that we said sabr is that you resist against the pressure and the incentive for hawa. This is sabr. You resist against hawa. Hawa is shahwa, lower desires, the whims. Shahwa has two aspects. Shahwa can be with respect to seeking pleasure, and also it can be ghadab, anger. By shahwa, you move towards what you like. By anger, you try to defend yourself against something that you don't like. When you become angry, it's not because there is something interesting. When you become angry, it's because there is something dangerous or something that you don't like, you become angry. Something which is not pleasant. When something is pleasant, you have shahwa to go towards it. So we have two aspects that we have to resist. A kind of bad attraction and a kind of bad kind of distraction or bad way of disliking something. Sawm, fasting, helps with respect to shahwa, is attraction. He says when you are fasting, you can control your shahwa of batn, like eating and drinking, and shahwa of farj, your chastity. Fasting helps you with both aspects. If someone wants not to eat too much or not to drink too much or control his desire for sex, he can fast. If someone is not able to marry, one way to help is to fast. Okay? But with respect to controlling anger, fasting may not that much be helpful. Unfortunately, actually, people when fast, sometimes they become angry. This is a sad thing that many times when we fast, we think people, should have a special respect for us and, be very careful about us because I am fasting. I think there is a maybe problem here. Ghazali wants to say this is quite reasonable because fasting is mostly to resist against shahwatul batn or shahwatul farj, is for eating, drinking, or sexual satisfaction. Fasting helps you. With respect to controlling anger, fasting may not help you. Okay? So, then fasting helps you with half of sabr. And sabr is half of iman. So fasting is quarter of iman. Okay? So he says, كان الصوم صبرا عن مقتضى الشهوة فقط دون مقتضى الغضب. Fasting helps you with respect to shahwa for bat or fat and not ghadab. So, as-sawmu nisfu sabr. There is a hadith in some sources that Rasulullah said, as-sawmu nisfu sabr. And then he says, Sawm then becomes rub'ul iman, quarter of iman, because sabr is also half of iman. Then there is a discussion about different names that we may give for sabr. Yes. When sabr is attributed to different things. For example, it can be sometimes with respect to physical pain, or someone physically hits you. There can be pain, there can be injury, many things. Inshallah, we will talk about this next week or next session. That's another chapter. So the summary of this chapter, which was just about a little bit more than 1 page, is sabr is half of iman, no matter how you define iman. If you define and interpret iman as a matter of having firm, certain beliefs and acting upon them, sabr is half of it. The other half is yaqeen. If you interpret iman as practice, then it means you do everything which is beneficial for you in dunya and akhirah and avoid anything which is harmful, then it would be sabr and shukr. So again, sabr is half of iman. So this shows that what we said before and we had in hadith, that as-sabru min al-iman bimanzilat al-ra's min al-jasad is not an exaggeration. Because no matter how you look at iman, there is no way to have iman without patience. Patience is needed to be able to have iman and to maintain iman. Sometimes we think to have iman in the first place is more difficult. Yeah? The question, if someone asks you to become a faithful is more difficult or to remain a faithful, which one is more difficult? We normally think to become is more difficult because you have to make a journey to come to iman. Okay? And then after that, you are in the good hands and in good territory. To get into iman is more difficult than remaining in iman. Yeah? Like you travel all the way from your country to Mecca. This is more difficult than being in Mecca and doing your a'mal. This is the mentality that we have. We think that to go towards Iman is more difficult, but then when you are mu'min, you manage. But it might be said that actually to remain mu'min is more difficult if you are really mu'min, because Iman is not static. Iman is not that you go to a, for example, pool, swimming pool, and you remain there, you are mu'min. The main thing is to just dive into the pool. Iman is like climbing a mountain. When you climb the mountain, it becomes more and more difficult. Those who have not yet started climbing, they are somehow safe. Because although they don't have access to the peak, but the chance of collapsing is less. But if you start climbing, then you have to be extra careful, because one step you make mistake, you collapse, and then you are killed. You have to work hard. And you know, when you are climbing, day and night, you have to be careful. Yeah? And also, especially when you are climbing, you have to be careful about the whole team. You cannot say, I don't bother about the rest of the team. Their progress or digress affects you. So, now that, inshallah, I hope we have entered Iman at least, we cannot relax and say, inshallah, everything automatically will be sorted out. Iman is not like getting into the train and you asleep and then you arrive in destination. We are on the train of Iman, Alhamdulillah, Rasulullah is driving and we get into heaven. No. Iman is like climbing a mountain. Even if Rasulullah is in your team and your coach, you have to also work hard to listen and to work hard, and also you have to be concerned about the rest of the team. Of course, you are going higher and higher, but at the same time, for those who go higher, the dangers become more. Yeah? The dangers are more. The risks are more. An alim, for example, or a talabe, one mistake is more difficult than mistake of a lay person. يغفر للجاهل 70 ذنبا قبل أن يغفر للعالم ذنب واحد. 70 sins of Jahil will be forgiven before one sin of Alim is forgiven. Because sins of Jahil are in lower levels. Alim is higher. One mistake is destroying him. But also Alim is taking some people. You know, sometimes when they climb the rocks and they are all connected with a rope, if the first person makes a mistake, all group may go down. So, of course, this is not to tell people it's better to remain jahil. Yes, there is no excuse for being jahil. You have to learn. But you have to know that when you learn, your responsibility becomes more. So we need patience all the time, especially when we move forward. Ayub alayhi salam needed more patience than people who were guided by him. Yeah? Rasulullah needed more patience than people. Allah says to Rasulullah, fasbir. But not normal sabr. Kama sabara ulul azm min ar-rusul. If Rasulullah has patience like Salman and Abu Dhar is not enough. If Salman and Abu Dhar have patience like ordinary people is not enough. Every person who goes higher needs more patience. Because we are not in a static position. We are going higher, and then your decisions, your standpoints, your words become more and more important. Yeah? Sometimes one alim or one person who has influence can say something and guide people or misguide people. Can bring people closer or can cause a war. So it's very, very careful position. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah to give all of us certainty and patience and gratitude inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. You have question? You have question?